everybody. Welcome to the Ramon Foster Show. He's shaking his head over there. I know why, too.
They're right on cue.
Right on cue. Everybody complaining that we're a minute or two late. But as Moan just came up with a concept for all of this, let's have it, Moan. Why is it?
Why is it that we start at like 102, 103, 105? It's because we are like the big networks, okay? Kickoffs are at 1 o'clock Sundays. Guess what? They're not until 102, 103, or 104. So we're like the kickoff. We're getting you ready to be inside of stadiums, sit at home, grab one more beer, one more coffee, one more bag of chips. That's why we give you extra time, DK. That's why right. We give them extra time.
That's right. It's not to sell the extra ad space or anything. No.
Oh, look at it. Look at Paul. Paul, 2:05
Get out of here with the 2:05. What's
Get out of here, Paul. Or was somebody else probably still out getting coffee? Yes, Casey. Yes, we are.
That's awesome. He is Ramon Foster. He is an 11-year starter in the National Football League. All 11 of those played right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Yes, indeed, DK, man.
And he has to talk about some significant things that did not used to occur in his 11 years in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, because this is now Omar Khan's world, and we are all just stealing his oxygen. Let's get real here, okay?
Yeah, we are, DK. Omar, but let me say this, as a guy, as a dude you will love. And one regime cannot be like the other. We know that, DK. If it was Kevin Colbert 2.0, the complaints would probably be bigger, would they not?
Yes, they would.
Yes. So that trade that happened last week for Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, and you send away a 5th-round draft pick and Minkah Fitzpatrick. Minkah
was traded.
Do we gotta whisper it? Minkah. Like, it felt dirty. It felt like it's not supposed to happen. Jason says new Steeler way. But, like, DK, I got a lot of opinions about that trade. Well, that's why we got this network, so we might as well go and get to it, okay?
Might as well.
So Omar, like if you've been around Omar, and I have, great guy. He understands the numbers. He sees the business from a different lens. I think he sees it from up top. Then he does see it while being in it. But here's the thing. Omar knows what it's like to be in it because he's been in those rooms for a very long time. He's not new to the Steelers at all. He understands what that camaraderie, that family environment, the legacy guys, DK, the long tenured guys locking Cam up, right? Made a whole lot of sense. Like, you get that. Taking care of Alex Highsmith, and I think TJ is probably going to be taken care of too. But here's the thing. I don't think it'd be fair to expect Omar to do it the old Steeler way, though, because he's younger. He's been around the NFL in more than one spot. I know he's with the Saints for a little while. I think Seattle also for a little bit. So he's seen this work, and this NFL is a little bit different. My take from the Minkah, Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith trade is this. One, I think they pushed the chips, DK, to the middle of the table. It's time to go at it. At least we can say on our end, we did our part as far as facilitating a team for Coach Tomlin, Coach Smith, and everybody else as it pertains to what they need on that side of the ball. So here's what I took from it, DK. One of the things I took it from, because there's so many. I think what we're learning in real time is two positions. I don't know if all of football, but specifically the Steelers don't cherish. That's an expensive running back, and that's an expensive safety. Troy, similar situation. Right? I don't want to call Troy expensive, but I think they felt there was a time limit on Troy and it had expired. Palomalu is who I'm speaking of.
Of course.
And the last one would be the running back position after the Le'Veon conversation. And to be quite honest with you, there was no drop-off in running back names, production, or the expectation at those positions right now, DK. And across the entire NFL, to me, those are two of the most devalued positions. I would almost throw inside linebacker in it, but that doesn't apply to Pittsburgh. It's running backs its safeties and its off-ball linebackers, I think, are diminished a lot unless you have a Saquon Barkley, unless you have a Patrick Queen type. You know what I'm saying? Like Roquan Smith. You're going to pay Fred Warner. You pay for those guys. And if you're out of that conversation, I think it can be argued. Minkah, the last couple of years, I would go 24. There's a lot of questions about his play. I love him as a teammate, but you hear the rumblings. You like
do.
The GPS side of like tracking players. You never know what Minkah is on the chart for what the Steelers wanted him to be versus what his peak production versus where he is right now. And the other side of it is he probably needs an upgrade in pay. The last part I'll say is this. I feel like the way this team is built defensively, Jalen Ramsey was the piece that you needed to solidify keeping yourself into games. If more than anything, you still take away one side of the field, DK, in my mind, on what I think about Jalen Ramsey, because of the threat that if you do throw to his side, it may get picked off or you're wasting your time. That at least puts the focus back on one side of the field with Joey Porter Jr., who we've all said needs a big jump this year as far as his career goes. But you know what covers that up, DK, and what Pittsburgh has always believed in? Rush and coverage works together. TJ, Alex, Cam, Keanu, young boy out of Oregon, like every single one of them can get after the quarterback on top of Patrick Queen being a blitzer up the middle.
And Nick Herbig.
Nick Herbig.
Yeah, you mentioned Derek Harmon. We'd love to see what YA Black can bring. There are people. There's a commonality for sure, a common theme with this, the whole front, the defensive front, where you can tell that they want to get back to getting after the quarterback instead of having it just be an all TJ thing.
Exactly.
And that's what. Let's be real here. When we were watching this defense over the past year or two, it was either TJ gets back there or nobody's getting back there, and that's got to stop.
And that's got to stop. But you know why though? Because TJ, more than all of them on that offense, on that defensive line, he has a unique skill set of being able to get to the quarterback quick, and not every player has that. It's the same way Troy had ball skill, just talents, right? Like he knew how to get to the quarterback or break up a pass. Certain guys have that it. Not everybody possesses that from TJ. And the other side of that too, DK, as far as it being like a tandem of rushers up front, TJ's missed games here or there or have to come out. And the best way to do that is to give those guys up front that can't get home the way TJ does more time by locking up the receivers down the field.
And that's what you're talking about, that there's a symbiosis that has to happen between the secondary and the guys up front. One way or the other. Either direction is fine.
Yes, but one helps the other, DK. And that's all it showed to me. More than anything of them going and get Jalen Ramsey. Like, he's a big back. He's physical as heck. He fits DK, the AFC North, more than almost any division. You never have to worry about him putting his face in the fan. Now, he's older, okay? But does Father Time catch up? Can he escape injuries, DK, with this physical of a style of ball? But what I do know is this. He played in a very physical Jacksonville team and also a very physical Rams team. He's not foreign to this.
Foreign. He came in and just said, I couldn't care less about your AFC North. No. That's what he did. People forget what. I don't want to make Ramsey's career sound like it's in some distant rearview mirror or whatever, okay? Yeah. Because I've seen the film from last year. He can make plays. But my goodness, what that guy was doing when he came into the league.
You couldn't touch him.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he was on some other level.
He was. And not only that, DK, I'll answer Sergio's questions here in a moment until we get to Hey Moan. But not only that, he beat guys up. He challenged the biggest bullies on the other side of the ball,
Didn't care.
He did not care. DK, this guy steals, by the way, and I know speed is always going to be a thing for older D. But just to let you know, like he does have track speed. He still holds the record, I think, in 4 categories here in the state of Tennessee for track.
Wow.
One of them being the 200, which is a demonic race. Okay, like it's a sprint.
It's not. Yeah,
no,
it's
I think the 400 too.
It's a sprint and a half, is what 200 is. I mean, People, I just covered 5 Olympics and 3 of them in the summertime, and people would always say, "What's the difference between the 100 and the 200?" Oh, dude,
You don't.
they are not the same race.
It's not the same. No. Do we want to hold on to Sergio's question?
Yeah,
for the
let's do that. I see this. This is great.
It is, and I'm energized. I'm tan, man. Now I've gotten so dark. Like everywhere is dark on me right now.
There's some commentary about this in there as well. So we're gonna be getting into all of that when we come back here on the Ramon Foster Show. As soon as I can find where is the boss.
Boss is making
Where is
moves, DK.
She's ignoring me. This is bad.
Come on,
she's
dogs.
saying
But
find
I don't
it
blame
yourself.
her. I don't
she's
blame
saying
Dolly.
Find it yourself. Where is the ad? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, we'll be right back.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
Now, Jordan Davis knows their track here. It says 200 meters is a sprint with double the top end speed. Imagine the fastest human and then multiplying their speed by 1.5. Now, there's all kinds of ways to break that down and everything, but it is not the same race. Just because Usain Bolt could win both of them doesn't mean it's the same race. Eventually, Usain, the first races he started losing, if I recall correctly, were the 200s.
Yeah, don't let that fool you. That is a different human being right there. Okay, Usain Bolt.
This is good here. Amish Baller gets us started today and says, "Hey, Mo, you said that TJ Watt will probably get paid. There's no probably in this.
No problem.
Why wouldn't the Steelers pay him? Let's get TJ out of the way here early today.
Why wouldn't they pay him? Some may feel like his best days are behind him. I don't. But here's the other reason. Like, I can only give you reasons why they will pay him.
Well, then do that.
Because there's nobody behind TJ. Okay? Like that effective with that track record that can pick his spots. And the other part for me, DK, is the group that they have is such a compliment to everything that TJ does. With Nick Herbig, you bring that up. With Cam being able to rush, with Alex Highsmith being in the fold, it just makes sense more why to pay him. This, to me, TJ getting signed, that's a training camp signing. Easily, DK.
When I think of signings, and I think of signings that are beyond somebody's second contract, okay, and there aren't many of those. I happen to be communicating with one of them right now. There aren't that many.
Yeah.
But when they happen, one of the commonalities in my experience as a reporter and covering them is that the team had better trust you as a human. The team had better trust that you're not there to just pile on to the career earnings, that you're there, you're still motivated, you're still going to keep yourself in the proper NFL conditioning and not become a drag on the team or the payroll or anything else here. How big of a factor is that? Because even Cam in his mid-30s, they were just like, who's worrying about Cam? Are you kidding me?
Exactly. To be quite honest with you, you bringing me up was probably the best example.
It might have been.
My continuation of getting paid was, we know what Moan's going to do every single play. He's great for the team. He's great as far as his play goes. There hadn't been a slip. So in those moments right there, DK, my last year may not have been my greatest, but you knew week in and week out what you were getting more consistently than not. And that plays a part in the last, and I think you can look at certain situations, say the last paydays that guys get, it's usually a favor for the work that you have done with the expectation that, hey, thank you, we appreciate you. Is that fair?
It's actually, in a way it is, but in a way the team would be cringing like crazy to hear that. We're not paying for past performance around here. We already paid you for what you did and whatever else here.
That's a lie.
It's you know, they're taking care of business, but part of their business is maintaining being who they are and valuing the people who've meant the most to them. So it's not so much as a going away gift as it is. The impressions that I got, okay, and again, I'm not, you're on the inside, I'm not, I'm covering these things, is they'll say like, we just know what you are. We don't have to worry about we don't have to worry about you. Whereas if I'm bringing in somebody from the outside, I have no idea. And I don't know when they might fall off the cliff or how they might respond to falling off the cliff, or if they'll adjust, if they'll still want more, or if they'll quit. Whereas with you, they didn't have to worry.
No.
Okay. And that was not, I'm being respectful when I say this, that was not a slam dunk that you were going to get that deal.
No, it was not.
It was not, I'm being really nice here.
Trust me.
Okay.
When I got the word on that deal, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, let's go. Like I was expecting that going to that 19 season, DK, of being a free agent.
I was there.
Yeah.
And I also know that they had other options that they were considering.
Yeah.
And then it was just the next thing you know, it's like, the Steelers have signed Ramon Foster to it. Then it's like, oh, they have?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
But to your point, though, think about this, though, to your point about who's the replacements at those spots. It took 3 guys before you found Marquise's replacement with Zach? It's taken 2 with mine, and is it 2 with right guard?
Right guard is not set yet. I'm not ready to hand Mason McCormick that job for the next decade, and I don't know what's coming after Isaac Seumalo. He's a free agent, who comes in and fills in. So the Steelers don't really have their left guard yet. Okay,
so
that has nothing to do with Isaac. I just mean like when you're talking about the next guy who will be holding down left guard for several years, Isaac's obviously not going to be that.
And you see the uncertainty in that right there, though, which is why you signed TJ Watt, to get back to the original question. TJ's position also is a draftable guy. He's not a free agent dude that you bring in. His replacement will be a first-round draft pick, DK. Is that how you see it? Look at Derek Harmon, right?
Something like that. Yep.
With Cam? Okay, all right.
I mean, no, it's the Steelers. Look at the position that we're talking about. And
historically,
if there's a lot of people who will say, and I'm sure that they were thinking it as you said it, there's nobody to back him up. What about Nick Herbig? Nick's never done it from the left side.
No.
Okay. Not on any sort of, he's been over there as a gimmick at times. He's been over there as an emergency guy, but he's not been assigned to that spot on the field.
And some will say, well, go sign a free agent guy. That's just like, other than like even Jalen's and Jonnu's deals. Like they added $1.5 million, I think, to Jalen. But I got a feeling they're going to be able to let him go sooner than later. And then we're talking about a guy that's a playmaker for you in an offense that Arthur Smith liked to run with that tight end specifically in Jonnu Smith. Like that deal was very friendly to Arthur Smith, and I think to the Steelers just planning for the future too, because Darnell is also up after this. Is it this year or next year? Darnell Washington.
Next year.
Next year.
Yeah, Sergio says that the Steelers have to stop disrespecting their legends. They should have paid Troy that extra season that he wanted, and the same for Hines Ward. I hate when they get cheap with people that truly matter. Now, I don't know that Moan and I are going to be on the same page with this one, because Moan's always in favor of the player in the bank.
I am. Now let me say this.
Especially the teammates.
For the eras that teams attempt to go into, sometimes it's better to just cut it, let some guys grow up. Now, that backfired big time with Sean Davis, Mike Mitchell. Mike made some plays for the Steelers, though, but Sean Davis trying to be in that role of that 1-2 tandem of young new eras, it can backfire. But as a team, sometimes you do got to cut bait. I think that's the reason they look at like Minka's situation the exact same way too. Troy's always touchy. I'm pro Troy in that one. I'll be honest with you, DK.
That's so tough, though.
I'm pro Troy in that one. So Sergio, I get it. But as a manager, at least it ain't the Pirates.
No. Let's not go there. Troy is a tough scenario because Troy, for anybody who doesn't know this, Troy absolutely wanted to play another year.
100%.
Okay, nobody's guessing at that.
Can we say the reason he stayed away for a while too?
Go right ahead.
Was probably because of that. I don't want to put words into Troy's mouth, but a relationship had to be amended, right, DK?
Because he felt that he had done more than enough to earn an opportunity to come back and continue his career and close it out on his terms. Mike Tomlin, and this was about Tomlin, wanted, he saw the decline. He saw the things that we're talking about. He saw him getting burned in the back. And there were a lot of things that Troy could do that other humans couldn't, based on pure and simple football. I don't want to call it intellect. I want to call it genius.
Greatness.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
His instinct was, okay. It was like it was his game and everybody else was playing it. He invited everybody else. Okay.
Yeah.
The catch with that is that you could see that there were physical issues
Decline.
that he couldn't. The things that you were talking about, the GPS tracker and stuff like that, you could just see that he wasn't keeping up, and that could be seen. And I think that Tomlin was trying to find a way to let him down early without just don't go play for another team. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. And to his credit, he didn't, because that's a lame way to go to.
Just picking.
I'm sorry, it just is.
Can we play devil's advocate real quick? Sergio,
Let's
here
do
you
that.
go with these big topics, man.
Yeah.
The other side of that is, Sergio, you say stop disrespecting the legends. There's a big group, DK, I think of Steeler Nation, that says they should have cut bait earlier with Ben. That's the other side.
A lot of that's hindsight now. But
Hindsight.
It also was accurate at the time, especially after the elbow injury.
So which devil do you want? Respectfully. You know?
Yeah.
To see it end or to end it?
And then there's another aspect too, where Sergio brings up, he also threw in Hines Ward. Hines had nothing left. Okay. You guys, I don't even want you to tell me what was said in the huddle before the 1,000th catch. Okay. Because this was just so flagrant what was going on here. Yeah. Okay. Don't say anything. I don't want to know, because everything was so force fed and so just go stand there. We're going to throw you the ball. Just go down, whatever. He didn't have anything left. And I have a feeling that in both cases with Troy and Hines, you're talking about guys that gave the bodies. And eventually the body just doesn't have anything left to give. And I have a feeling that especially in Hines' case, that was Tomlin saying, listen, love you, man. But that's it. That's it.
But
okay.
You know what you're also stopping too, DK, at that point, man? You're stopping a lot of growth of your other young players too. That was Mike Wallace. That was Antonio Brown. That was Emmanuel Sanders. Those guys that wanted those reps that you wanted to see grow up to. Like, there was another era birth off the fact that Hines wasn't there anymore, because we'd open up games, DK, real quick. Well, we're on the first play. Oh, we're just going to Hines. To get that 1,000 catch and stuff. And that's no slight to the veteran. Hines was very good to me, and everything that's involved with him. Great teammate. But you don't get potentially Emmanuel Sanders, Antonio Brown, Mike Wallace if you keep them around longer.
James Galway says that Troy couldn't cover tight ends anymore. Troy can do anything he wanted at any point he wanted. However, I think James has a solid general point in that the game was changing too.
Oh yeah.
And this, the freedom that Dick LeBeau had to just tell 43 to just do whatever you want. We'll defend with 10 guys. Okay. Yeah. You just feel the flow of the ether or whatever, and just do your thing. That also wasn't going to hold up forever.
It was not, because you got to also think that defense and team was transitioning too. It was incorporation of younger guys that couldn't play like the older guys, and they couldn't cover the way you needed them to or get home. Can I be hot guy real quick? Real quick. I think one of those guys that may have been pushed out may have been Kursky or Aaron Smith, like a year or two too early. And I'll say this. I think the incorporation of too many young guys too soon like led to some of the older guys having to retire, because like Ziggy played well, but I thought like keeping Kursky or Smitty around a little bit longer could have played a bigger part into like keeping that old group together for the folks that like to do it. Like Ziggy wasn't handed the starting spot.
No.
Ziggy played a lot early when Kiesel and Kiesel stayed and played his part too.
You're always going to get those extra opportunities based on where you're drafted. That's
a fair way to say it.
And there was a lot of that where in that specific scenario there. Sean says that keeping Ben wasn't the problem. It was not drafting quarterbacks after the elbow injury. Well, one was drafted before the elbow injury, and then he got thrown out to the Wolves.
Mason.
And then there was just no subsequent plan. No. There was just we're just going to keep running it back with Ben. And, that's the way that went.
That's what happens when you also get one of those guys that are the ultimate competitor. They brought in Landry. They brought in Dennis Dixon, Byron Leftwich, player after player, and Ben continued to play better and better until the elbow, I guess, right, DK?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, he played better than those guys even after the elbow.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's... Yeah.
The legend sometimes, again, the question I give you, do you want to see it end and it may be bad, or do you want to end it? That's what you get yourself into.
Slim says, hey, Bone, do you think they should move TJ around a little bit more on the line?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think overexposing TJ to going up the middle, I think beats him down a little bit too much. Like him rushing off the edge with tight ends and tackles, that's fine. But when you throw him in the middle, and I say this respectfully, to the guards and centers, DK, we're like alligators out there. You hear me? Everybody wants a bite, and I just don't want TJ in that position. Let guys special.
This is amazing. This never occurred to me. You see him. I mean, like, if he's like Myles Garrett would do it, whoever, yeah, they come over the middle. What are you thinking?
Hey, help me. Give me a little bit right here.
You never crossed my mind.
You belong out there. We're trying to
go back where you were.
We're trying to deter them, DK. Don't come play in this playground. You 4'6", 4'5" demon. We like the guys that run 4'7s or 4'9s.
This isn't your world, man.
You 240? DK, listen to the sound. Get out of here. Hell no.
Oh my.
We don't want to make this the norm. I'm telling you, we got to beat them guys up, DK, so they tell them friends, don't go up the middle. Do you hear me?
Oh,
absolutely
geez.
not,
All
man.
right, so we have eliminated any concept of TJ moving around on a line. I had something to add. It is totally nothing now.
Hey, let that man have a free arm. The moment he runs in there with us, DK, it turns into a ping pong show. Do you hear me? Clack, clack, clack. Yes, Vegas, put that wood on him. Yes, Greg, you in our swamp now.
That's what Greg says here. This is what are you doing here?
If he wins once, he's coming back.
Did you forget to bring a flashlight? Did you get what is this?
Bro, we don't wear white shoes in here. No. We wear black shoes and ski masks, DK.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
Oh, so no, I don't want TJ moving around more. I love it in a spot. He needs one arm free. He got you in tears here.
I thought I had something insightful to add, and I don't. Damian says, "Game on with the tight end room. How do you see 12 and 13 personnel stacking up against the division? The Steelers obviously have. Oh my goodness, we haven't even brought up Jonnu Smith, but I mean." Look at the people they can put out there.
Yeah.
And, you want to talk about being big and tough coming off the bus. How about coming out of the huddle?
Exactly.
With Metcalf and everybody.
But the other side is, man, you don't have to choose. Like, defenses have to choose what they're going to go up against. Jonnu and Pat Freiermuth are unique enough, DK, to where they can go up against safeties or linebackers and it'd be a mixed match too. So a defense have to decide, are you going to try to stop the run, or do you find yourself in a mixed match because Jonnu will go past you, and also guess what? Pat Freiermuth will go behind you.
He will.
You know what I'm saying?
They both will.
Exactly. And then you throw in also Cam's brother. I mean, legitimately, like, we're talking about Connor being out, maybe potentially in that set too. Oh, and guess what? We're bringing Darnell. He'll just stay in here and block. So if he stays in a block, you motion Jonnu out. You keep two tights right next to the line of scrimmage, DK. Pick your poison is what I'm telling you. But here's the other side of you running 12 and 13 personnel, DK, is this. You're going to have to. Because until you find out what Roman Wilson is, until you can find out if Aaron Rodgers can connect with Calvin Austin, you got DK and what? Respectfully.
No, I mean, you have different types of players. You have guys who can offer you different options. With Calvin Austin, who keeps getting better year after year. Roman Wilson, who's going to be entering a pivotal year too for him. But that's also the reason why everybody keeps pining for that next a WR2 type, somebody who could fill in really for Metcalf if he were to go down.
But who's selling those guys right now?
It might be Green Bay. They drafted so many wide receivers that there's a thought that Romeo Doubs could become available. It's actually
I like the idea.
Yeah. So you can, I mean, I don't know what their problem is, the Packers, but okay.
Oh, all right.
That's not our problem. What's wrong with them here? Hey, Moan, says Sticky B. Will Aaron Rodgers' quick release help this young O-line gel faster, or will it just kind of push the problem further into the future? I think about that one all the time. Like this, everyone says as far as Rodrick Jones goes, oh, it's not going to be a problem this year because he's going to get rid of the ball right away. What about when he actually does need to get the ball, with some time? You didn't go get DK Metcalf to run quick slants.
Yeah. And real quick, to clear up that getting rid of the ball comment too. Yeah. That's only so much of that you can do, DK. Mm-hmm. Like you can keep it on schedule for as long as you absolutely want. But here's the thing. Getting the ball out quick, DK, is still 1,001, 1,002, 3. Getting it out quick, DK, is on 3, the ball is gone. Okay? So it's not like it's just 1 second of you holding the ball and getting rid of it. It's not that, DK. Those guys still got to hold up the middle and off the edge too. So again, there are guys that are running 4.5s, 4.4s that are rushing off the edge. So getting rid of the ball don't help in those moments. Like we got to look at Troy Fautano and also Rodrick as guys that still got to block and do their job too, DK. And here's the other here's a pro tip, DK, about the way I think teams are going to rush the Steelers. How old is Aaron Rodgers? 41, about to be 42?
That's correct.
His mobility has probably done this because Father Time wins.
And the injury.
DK, teams are going to do this up the middle. They're going to create a V to try to flush him out, roll him to where Rodrick and Troy, in my opinion, got to be really good. You know why? Because they want to test his mobility. You want to know why? Because if it's Isaac right there or Zach that had a great year, right, last year, can you do it again? Most teams nowadays, DK, because if you look at our very own team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have incorporated the idea the best and fastest way to get to the quarterback is in that guard center triangle right there up the middle.
You're attacking the strength.
Because I need to see if he can move. 100%. DK, Aaron Rodgers in space, especially if Rodrick is feeling the pressure or Troy in his first year of starting turns the corner too soon, you might run into a sack, DK. And besides, why would I not attack your best strength when I'm playing against Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Baltimore that usually have big guys up the middle?
Up the middle.
I'm flushing the middle first. Or I'm sending linebackers or safeties because I need to be able to test out the young rookie that you went and got at running back. And also, can Jalen hold up this much on his own? There's questions that have to be answered. And this is just the mindset of a defensive coordinator just trying to figure out a way to beat the Steelers. I would do that, DK.
An exceptionally educational episode of the Ramon Foster Show today. I'm not being remotely facetious. There's a couple of things you brought up here that are...
Because why would I allow Aaron Rodgers to step up in the pocket?
Yeah.
Flush him.
Scotia says, hey, Mo, do you think that this young offensive line uses this extra pressure of blocking for a Hall of Fame quarterback to collectively reach the next level? Nobody wants to be responsible for getting Aaron Rodgers killed back there. How do you feel about that?
That's going to be part of it. But here's the thing. He plays quarterback. Getting hit is a part of his job, though, too. Does it help accelerate them getting better? I say, DK, if they can't get the ball out on time, let's not call it out quick. If they can get the ball out on time, barring a half a second or two, yes, it helps accelerate them. There is added pressure with it being an Aaron Rodgers type. I felt pressure on blocking for Ben Perry. I felt pressure for blocking for Mike Vick. You know what I'm saying? Byron Leftwich. That pressure's always there. It's a matter of those dudes minimizing their weaknesses. Skull Show. That's what I would tell you. If you know you're deficient in just turning your leg and letting a DN run by you, fix it. Like, the growth that you have as a player, to be quite honest with you, DK, it comes through play. It comes from reps, live reps and stuff like that. But it legitimately is on you. Guys that I played with wanted to get better. Sometimes, DK, it's not on them to get better, and it just ain't in them either.
It's just not there to be. Yeah, there isn't a ceiling.
So the question I would have to ask, I think it was Gojo that asked that question, forget who it was, like, do you trust this offensive line mentally to get better? That's the biggest question. Are they going to challenge each other, DK, to say, you sucked on this play, hey, Isaac, I need a little help right here. That's also getting better, DK.
Well, you've also got Darnell in that mix too. We've talked about the other tight ends, and Darnell can be, as he refers to himself, 6-man on that line.
I agree.
But I also say this a lot. If Darnell is in there, I don't want him babysitting. I want him to have his own role. I don't want him being in there to say, make sure that Rodrick Jones isn't blowing the process up. Broad doesn't want that either. Danny Blaze says, do you trust this line, Moan?
Do I trust this line? I trust 3/5 of it.
Okay.
I trust Isaac, correct? I trust Zach. And the last one is going to shock you. I just got this thing for Troy Fautano.
I knew you were going to do that. You so do, though, too.
I
really
trust
do.
him. Just watching him, just seeing his tape in college, it's his natural position of right tackle because he played for a left-handed Michael Penix Jr.
Mm-hmm.
He's
That's
played big-time ball. He understands like what Pittsburgh is in the AFC North too. He was a fan, DK. So he understands what he get himself to. And this is what I always say too on good offensive line. 3 of the 5. If you get the bonus 2 like you got with me and Al, even better. 3 of the 5 is what you need. So I'm looking at Broderick and I'm looking at whoever's going to be the right guard. Those are my 2. And Broderick may deserve a little bit more grace, but he know he needs it, and we all need to see it too.
It has to happen this season. And that's the conversation internally, Moan, too. I can share with you. That's what they're talking about with him. That's what he's hearing from them, and he's not running from it. I don't mean to sound like Tomlin here using his terminology, but he's not running from it. He understands what the criticism has been. He understands what the expectations are, and I can actually do a pretty good Broderick imitation. I'm not going to do it now, but he has a. I really like the kid.
He's bubbly. Yeah, I do too.
Yes,
I do too.
I know you do. Okay, this isn't some bad dude. This isn't somebody who's a
he
problem
does want
child.
it. Yeah,
he wants it, and when he gets it, this is my favorite thing about Broad. And I've told him this too. When he gets it, when he's having a game, when he's had a game. Moan, there's something extra about him after that game. Okay. And he's feeling it. He's talking about stuff that has nothing to do with him and everything to do with the collective. He changes. Okay. He is such a swing vote in this election that I can't. No, but is, because it can go in either direction. It really can. He can make such a difference for this football team. And we'll see. Okay. Mason McCormick just needs to be his best self.
He just needs to be chalk.
He needs to be that guy that's doing the yelling and talking. And Zach Frazier told me they all feed off of him and all his blah, 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 blah,
so he's the glue guy.
He can be.
He just got to play.
He's got some of your Marcus Gilbert to you, some of the where it's just enough to keep everybody, make sure everybody's still on the program and everything.
Yeah.
Stiegel says Rodrick Jones is still so young. He is, but he's not. Football years.
How many reps he got? Hold up. Let me see. I got you real quick, DK.
He's got 3 years of them. So,
Rodrick
but a lot of them,
Jones.
as Stiegel points out, we're on the other side of the field. And by the way, who's now openly talking about the difference in the sides is Rodrick himself. It's funny how that was a non-issue through his first 3 years. Now all of a sudden he's really happy to be back on the left side.
Well, he didn't have a choice, number one, but also Coach T don't want to hear you complain at all.
About anything.
Here's the other side though too. So his rookie year he played 767 snaps, plenty. Started 11 games. Last year in 24, over 1,073 snaps. What I will say is this, though, DK. Year 1 is your intro. Year 2 is your adjustment. We expect you to have a big jump. Project was okay. Fair? 3rd year is who you are as a pro. I give the same credence that I give to quarterbacks, that I give to almost any. By that 3rd year, DK, there's a guy here in Tennessee I'm watching, Peter Skoronski. Same situation that Broderick's in. Can y'all make this move and become solid pros?
Robert Sham says here, if you want the straight story about a football team, talk to a lineman. Moan, let's talk about the straight line that I used to walk and still do, by the way. when the post-game locker room opens to the reporters, what did this reporter do?
Right over there to the big boys.
Right to the big boys. Everybody else is fanning out, looking for the stars. And, oh, look, there's Cam Hayward. And, oh, look at that. I actually want to find out what happened.
Yeah.
I want to find out what happened.
You know what's super unique is because we have a strong understanding of mostly what everybody else is doing. We can see if a wide receiver had a good game because we going to all know it. If the quarterback has a good game, we're going to know it. I feel like I was having this conversation with somebody else earlier. The reason I think you go to the offensive line and we tell the best story is we have the most pressure to be the most perfect.
You can't bat 99.8%. No. You can't.
The hit rate, DK, in a game has to be 98% minimum every week. And the other parts of that, your game has to be, DK, 100 more times than not. That 1 or 2% plays that you miss gotta be, he almost made a tackle.
Almost got there.
Yeah.
They overran him a little bit.
So the way we view and look at everybody else's positions is y'all job ain't as hard as ours. Yeah, the DB defended you, but is anybody running down your face? The quarterbacks in this league, DK, if they throw 65% in a game, that's a damn good game. Think about that too. There are more misses allowed at other positions than there is the offensive line, so we gotta be the truth tellers.
We're going to take 2 more questions today.
Oh, this is such a good show.
It really is. That's because you're killing it over there. What a show you're having. Speaking of hit rate, lifelong fan says, "Hey, Bone, does the offensive line's blocking scheme stay the same once it's established, or do they change the scheme from play to play?" And Arthur Smith has used more than one blocking scheme. He prefers the wide or outside zone blocking scheme. These guys aren't anywhere near ready for what you guys were doing when you were switching. Okay, there was some sophistication with the blocking schemes that you guys used. Especially, we talk about this a lot when you had both Le'Veon Bell and D'Angelo Williams running totally different worlds.
I just looked at tape from him. I looked at 2014 or 15, us versus the Rams. You remember that game? Mike Vick, I think, had to come in for a play or two. But either way, I think the field got set on fire too pregame in St. Louis. Crazy. But blocking schemes, though, it's got to be.
Wow.
You remember it now? You remember.
Got me. Yeah.
We won barely 14-3 or 14-6.
Creepy dark stadium.
Super dark.
Everything. Yeah. What a weird place. What a weird day that was.
Our intro, I think, to Aaron Donald, too, for the first time.
It was.
Yeah, you remember now. Yeah.
It was. Yeah, that was either their last or second to last season in St. Louis, too.
May have been the last. I'm not sure. Greg Williams is on that staff. Crazy. May have been the defensive coordinator. But to answer that question, scheme. This group's got to be really good at the basics, DK. It's that simple. If they're asking them to run 28 Man on the man on the man. No need to be cute. When you get good at something like that, DK, you continue to do that. And here's where the scheme changed. It ain't necessarily DK in the run game, it's the passing game. Because if they get really good at doing the basic stuff right, getting 3 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards, 8 yards, 10 yards, DK, that opens up the passing game. So the scheme to those guys right now is basic as heck, DK. It's not complicated. I don't care if it's inside zone, gap, or outside zone. It's simple, and do it correctly, because to your point a second ago, I don't want to say they're too young, but they hadn't been together long enough to advance it.
They still have individual concerns before they still have to repair the bricks before they get into the wall. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Hayden Daddy gets our last question for the day and says, "Hey, Moan, how much of a difference does the offensive line coach really have at the NFL for the unit?" Oh, yeah, there's a lot there.
Heldon, you better than this, okay? Yeah, which dignitary is that on you there with some sunglasses on with the x-ray coming out?
I don't know. Is that John Adams? I can't really tell.
Maybe Adams.
It's got puffier. A founding father feel to it, that's for sure.
How much of a difference does it make? A ton. And for this reason right here, guys come into this league bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'll say that. And how a position coach raises them up. Bach. Oh, wow. That's Bach.
So it was a founding father who could play a little bit. All right.
There it is. Sorry about that, Held. Must be a musician. But here's the thing as far as the unit goes. Guys come in bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, wanting to learn, because we've heard all our life, this is the best of the best, and we expect really good coaches. Quick pro tip. Not every offensive line coach is good. Not every position coach is a good coach either, and you burn guys. And the reason that is super important is for this reason, because that's your career. That is your job. That is your last stop to be something in life for a lot of guys. And if you don't have the right guy in the room leading that group, to where you don't have a bunch of jerks and pricks and just guys that want to do it their way and become selfish and only worried about their bag and don't really incorporate the team mindset in it, you ruin it. If you have a ruined offensive line, you got a trash team, and it's just that simple. So as it pertains to how guys grow and learn specifically at that position, you need to have a guy that is not egotistical and not afraid to have his guy say, "Coach, I don't feel comfortable doing that." Right. And you being good enough to say, "I'll find a different way." Or, you know what, let's change the scheme. If you can't do it, then guess what? Your buddy beside you is going to help you do those things. That's the differences. And I've seen okay, good, and great offensive line coach. The difference was he wasn't going to ask me to do something that Dave does. And he wasn't going to ask Dave to do something that I was good at. And vice versa on all sides. And you recognize which ones are good, which ones are going to be great for you, and you keep that room tight. That's much, I don't think, gets enough credit for the teams that we had in that era too. It was more than just our room. It was him bringing the tight ends over, or the coaches. I'll just throw all the coaches in there. The coaches bring the tight ends and the running backs to our room so we can learn how to pick up the blitzes with them.
That's interesting.
Some coaches say, we'll get it. I'll tell my bring everybody in the room and teach us how to do those things. And then it also raises the standard a little bit too. When you got an offensive line coach that's pressing everybody else to be good, and puts the pressure back on the group, and we rose to the occasion.
Everybody's responsible for the blocking. There aren't any exceptions to that, except maybe the quarterback.
That was one of the biggest things ever. I saw Munch, okay, hear me out, in the indoor, convince Antonio Brown that he needed to block 1 or 2 times. And you know what happened? AB blocked this behind off, and he come to the sideline. Give me the
ball. Yeah. There always was that at the end.
Pointing at a dead body like, you see this one? I got one.
You see this one, now throw it to me, okay? We cleared that palette.
And he would do little stuff like, guys, hit the shoulder. This is Munch every time. Hit the shoulder. How's it going? And then at the end, he give a little push. It's like, Munch, is the push necessary? It's always necessary.
Best Ramon show ever. When we come back, we're going to take care of a little bit of business here.
No doubt.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores, track the latest stats, chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
Man, hate having this one come to an end. Thanks to everybody who contributed along the way. Damian with 5. Kerry Russell's always good for 1. Carol with a 20. And I'm looking here. Stella Fierce comes in with 10. That's all appreciated.
James just came in with a super sticker. I see you.
Yeah,
too,
he did way down there. Look at that. Okay, James just popped in. And we're going to get a bonus question in today because this show's just been too good. And this question is actually too good.
I'll be good and quick, I think, okay?
Good friend from our good friend, the Butthole, says, Moan, what does true success mean to you these days?
Wow. That's good. Because here's the thing, DK. I compartmentalized what success was a while ago. Because when I got my first contract, I think it was like 5.2 or 5.6. I was like, heck yeah, made it. Then you see it, and then it's just like, damn, that's just numbers. And instantly I was thinking, well, I got to go get another one. And then you get another contract, and it's like, I got to go get another one. Then I finally said to myself, whether that be money, women, houses, cars, jobs, beanie babies, it don't matter. It never ends. Okay, like those numbers, that accumulation never ends, DK. And I found success for me these days is, are you happy? Can you call people that you can count on? Can they call you back to, DK? And the people around you, do y'all share love for one another? Like, that's what I'm so big on, DK. I'm here for a great time, the love of my wife and my kids and my family, and to have a support group around me that, like, if I'm in my low, I can divulge it to them and it never leaves. That's success to me. It ain't the house. I heard some people say like money don't make you happy, but it can solve problems. It can also create a lot of them too. You know? So success to me is, can you go home, sit back for a little bit and have a moment of peace, man? And that's kind of where I am with a lot of stuff. If something bad happens, I'm like, okay. Something good happens, that was some cool stuff. And I just keep it moving. Like, I think I've told you a lot of time, like a lot of stuff that I was doing, like in football, like play, like I chose not to remember a lot of stuff, DK, because it was always the next one. Like, I didn't sit in the moments and remember like, oh, this is some cool stuff, because I was always chasing the next thing. So I've taken the appreciation, DK, to being like right now, being able to smile, do this type of stuff, and talk a little trash from time to time.
There's something non-angelic coming in this answer at some point.
Yeah.
See, the problem is he's on this show with me, and I know what he's like in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So he can only take that so far.
Yeah.
Okay. I know the Cincinnati version of this guy.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, if we can't talk a little smack in the end of what we doing, DK, what we doing, dog?
Vegas says money can buy you happiness, but it can't buy you absolute happiness. No, only winning in Cincinnati can do that.
A Super Bowl will bring you happiness, Vegas.
This is true. Yeah, Rochelle says Mounds horns are showing.
You know what's crazy? All my friends were like, I'd be like, y'all want me to grow up? It's like, no, don't grow up.
No. Well, Moan's got something else to say here before we go for the week.
This is why I do this too, man. Like, I legitimately mean this, man. Call somebody you ain't talked to in a while. Have a random friggin' conversation. Y'all know what I say in this dumb freaking political world we live in. We're so divided. Y'all ain't Crips and Bloods. Y'all ain't dying over this stuff, man. Don't let these people manipulate us, man. Have a time. I promise you, that black guy you've never talked to is very interested in you. That white person you never talked is so interested in you. Learn each other, man. ELE, everybody love everybody, and I truly do mean that, man. And make it back to us next week. Don't go hug nobody's random girlfriend or nothing like that. But make it back to us. We gonna get to a point we do this daily too, DK. As soon as we get more content, man.
We're gonna be doing some pumping here too. Yeah, this is the off season for everybody here. But yeah, this episode can't be topped. If you enjoyed this one here, make sure you pass along the word to somebody. Because this one deserves all the eyeballs.
They're far too high.
And the ears and everything else here. Moan put on a clinic today. All right, guys.
Who's that? Hey.
No. Back
Hey ho.
no.
Hey ho. Huh. All right.
We are open.
See, he listened to us. He came in and spoke to a random person. Hey.
He did. I don't want any hugs.
Peace, good people.